Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am here today because it's box day. It is October. It is candy month. Whether you celebrate Halloween or not, you can absolutely use these candies. Maybe not their Halloween outfits, but use the candies in a fall festival or, you know, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, or just have it for yourself, because that's what I bought them for. So today we're gonna do the Kit Kat counts. I'm super excited because you guys know, if you follow me, at Christmas time I really wanted the Santas, but I was in Ecuador and we did not have access to anything American in Ecuador, except for Jif peanut butter, which was $15. But anyway, I digress. Here I have access to American items in Germany. So I got this bag of chocolate, which is the Kit Kat counts and the Reese's Bats. This is me and David right here. He loves Reese's peanut butter cups. I only like the bats and the pumpkins. I don't like the regular Reese's cups on a regular day or any other holiday. Only at Halloween I like the bats and the pumpkins. Now, these Kit Kat counts, as you can see, I already opened it. I already ate a couple. They taste a little different, and I don't know if it's because mine were melted, I think. They feel a little weird. They were melted, so that could be it. But super fun. There are other shapes with different flavors. Now, I'm an original Kit Kat girl. I don't fool with other flavors. I do not eat white chocolate. I'm not even gonna, we're not eating that. Not me. So that had a different shape, and I think it was like a Frankenstein or something. And then the pumpkin spice one had a different shape, and then there was some other weird flavor too, that had different shapes, which were super fun. I was gonna get that bag, but the only sweets David eat really are peanut butter cups and M&Ms. He calls everything else too circusy, so he definitely wouldn't have eaten any of the flavored Kit Kats, and I wouldn't have eaten them either. And I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just save it for Halloween? Give it out. Here's the thing. I live on the 7th floor of a gated apartment building in Germany, like it's off base. So I don't know if there's going to be trick-or-treaters or not, but I don't think so. So I didn't want to have all that extra candy. But anyway, now that I told you my whole life story, let's get into it. We're only doing Kit Kat counts today, because I literally have about 20 minutes before I need to be somewhere. So, okay, I don't need to be somewhere, but I want to go somewhere. I saw an activity that I want to do. All right, we're going to use our fold flat box. This is the old cover, and this is the old cover. Where's my new cover? The new cover is dark pink, and it actually says fold flat box. Where are you at? Here we go. Template. Okay, this is the one that you'll get. This is my very first original book before I decided to do all 3 books, so this is my baby. All right, let's find some pens and let's get this together. I'm going to do 3 because there was 3 scenes. This was like, these are little skulls and bones. I know you can't really see it, but they're on there. This one was creepy jack-o'-lanterns, and this was a spooky night with a little bat. So you know what? I want a presentation box. Let's switch to our yellow book, our purple book. We're going to switch to our purple book because I want a pizza box style box, if we can fit all 3 of them, because I want that to flip it open and to see the 3 scenes. So let's do a pizza box style box. So we need to measure our items. So my left to right, because I want them to be this way. My left to right is going to be, I think I can get away with 3 3/4. My up and down, you need to determine if you want your flaps, if you want to close your flaps up or leave them in. I'm just going to go whatever this measurement is. Looks like 3 1/2. And then how thick are we? Whoa. Let's see. Roughly 1/2 inch. Let's go with 1/2 inch. It's my favorite measurement. Okay, so let's go ahead and put everything in our book. So half, 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 half. My left to right is 3 3/4. My up and down is 3 1/2. And I only need my up and down on the bottom. Okay, so let's take out our different color pens. Look what I got, so I can do all this. And let's start our left to right, which is going to be 1, 2, and 3 measurements. Okay, so 0.5 plus 3.75 plus 0.5 equals 4 3/4 by, okay, let's do our up and down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measurements. So I'm looking at blue. 0.5 plus 3.5 plus 0.5 plus 3.5 plus 0.5 equals 8 1/2. Perfect. So that is our long side, the blue. So we need to score this at 1/2. Four, 4 1/2, and 8. And on our short side, we need to score it at 1/2, 0.5 plus 3.75, and 4 1/4. Okay, that's our measurements. Simples. Okay, let's go ahead and get a piece of paper while I'm checking this email. Okay, making sure it's nothing important. I'm just gonna have to use some scraps here. These aren't the best, but this paper is just barely thicker than copier paper, but my stuff's not here yet, and I didn't buy the paper when I had the chance, so that's on me. All right, my paper trimmer would be nice. I just got my monitor today, and so my setup is yet again changed, and so everything is just kind of not where I want it yet. But I wanted to get this video done because, like I said, I want to do something later. All right, so our thing was 8 1/2 by 4 3/4. So you can get 2, 8 out of these, maybe even 3. So put your paper on the long side and set it at 4 3/4, and that should already be by 8 1/2. Okay, so you can get 2 out of that. All right, so I'm gonna do mine the cheater way. The cheater way for me is easier, but for you it might be easier to follow the measurements exact as is. But this is a cheater way. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Half an inch, 1/2 inch. And then on the long side, I'll do my next measurements. So we already have the 1/2. So we need 4 and 4 1/2. And we already have the 8. So that for me is just easier. For you, it might be something different. You might have to follow this exact. Either way will get you the same ending. All right. Now we got to do some cutting. And you know what? I'm going to put this down here. Where's my trash can? Okay, scissors. All Alright, so on the long side, let's go ahead and varnish with your bone folder, just so you guys can see the lines. It doesn't matter if you varnish now or later, just as long as it gets done. A successful box has nice creases on the score lines. I try to do it first now because I was confusing people, because I honestly varnish whenever I think about it. Sometimes I cut first, sometimes I varnish, and then I'm like, dang, I should have varnished first. Alright, so here's your box. Long side at the top. We're going to go ahead on the bottom and cut up all of these score lines. You're going to miter your squares. And you're going to leave your rectangles alone on this one. So, cut, cut, miter, miter. I like to take off some of the bulk, but someone asked me if I could leave it so they can see the difference. It's not really a problem. Okay, rotate it, which you did on the bottom, you do on the top. So score line, miter, miter, score line, because we need to work with our squares. Miter, miter. Someone asked me, was it super important to miter? For me, yes. Because if you don't miter, let me show you what it looks like. Alright, cut up your score line. You're going to miter, miter, okay? If you don't miter, when you put your box together, it looks like that. I don't know if my camera will let you see that or not. Let's see if I can zoom it in. Here you go. See how it's like, it's off? I don't know if you can see that because it's very grainy. But if you don't miter, it's off. And it's just slightly off. It's not a huge deal. You're going to have this little tiny bit showing. I don't know if you can see that tiny bit at the top there. That's what we're mitering for this little petty piece that's out there. If that is not important to you, you know, that's fine. You don't have to, but we are literally just mitering for this little tiny petty piece. And to me, it just makes it look a little more finished, less handmade, if that makes sense. So miter, miter. But if you forget, not a big deal. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull our tabs in. Now, you need to determine what's the top and what's the bottom. When you're using solid cardstock, that doesn't matter. When you're using directional paper, obviously it matters. So make sure when you fold your box like this, it's the correct direction. If not, then you need to use the other side. So the bottom tray gets 4 tabs and the top tray gets 2. So you can do 1 tab at a time, 2 tabs, 3 tabs. I'm doing all 4. And just go ahead and get that. Get that. So the business with cutting the bulk off the tabs, that's just how I was taught, and I am a creature of habit. And so when I don't cut the bulk off, I feel like I missed a step. I'm all about repetition. Like I had to force myself not to cut the bulk off. It does not, in this case, it does not add or take away of anything by leaving the bulk on the tabs. Now, the only time it really matters is when you have like really small boxes, and that bulk does matter, but this box isn't that small, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is my top, making sure your corners are lined up perfectly. which they are, I'm going to give it another little press in. Put my snacks in. Actually, I want the green in the middle to break up those dark colors. And here we go. You're supposed to wait for your glue to dry. And push it in. And there you go. Perfect little presentation box. You can always make your, why is that too short? What did I do? I didn't wait for the glue to dry. It came undone. My bad. Anyway, you can make this thicker if you want it thicker. This is exactly 1/2 inch, and that's exactly how they are. And I love it. There's no wings on the side. So now all this needs is some decoration, and you're good to go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.